Hello everyone, Silverconundrum here. I come to you today with a question regarding precious metals. Let me ask you a question about how would you feel about suing somebody who claimed that precious metals would be at a certain value in a certain amount of time, even though they did warn you that you do have the possibility of losing everything? Well, there is roughly 180 people in a class action lawsuit against a website called metals.com. And there is an article that I would like to read to you guys here shortly. But before I do that, I want to remind everybody about our upcoming giveaways and about all of our stages that we're going through. So just remember that every stage, for every 100 people, up to 750, we're giving away something special. At 750 subscribers, we'll be giving away a specific item. And then at 1,000 subscribers, we're giving away a specific item to 3 winners. You guys can actually see the photo what's going to be given away. So anyway, I won't carry on with that. And as far as everything else goes, everybody, thank you very much for your subscription. And I hope you like the content. So I'm going to get on with reading this thing to you guys. I'm going to try to subphrase everything and break it down, because this is something that we all need to follow, because this might be important to us later on. Okay, everyone. So this article is brought to you by the Detroit Free Press. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know up front. This right here newspaper is a very far left-leaning newspaper. However, do not focus on that. Focus on the content that is being said, because this is something that can actually affect us as stackers and those that are around us. So listen to what's going on real quick, okay? So, precious metals scheme played up fears of conservatives, elderly to drain savings. So basically what they're trying to say is, they played on the fears of the elderly in order to drain their savings account, 401ks, and their IRAs. The fear of waking up one day and watching your 401k implode and continuing to fester during the pandemic, the civil unrest, and other hotly charged elections in 2020. So why wouldn't we expect someone would try to scare people out of their money and into putting every dime they've got into, say, silver and gold coins and bars? Investors in the 60s, 70s, and 80s are particularly vulnerable, since they might have built up hundreds of thousands of dollars in their life savings. And that's true, because people who's already hit retirement age, they've actually had a lifetime to acquire all of their financial means. And hopefully they're smart enough to understand it took them time to get it, and they're able to manage their money. There's an old saying, in the land of the young man, beware of the old man. Meaning, the old man is conniving and good enough to get to where he wants to get to. So therefore, where the men die young, the old man is old for a reason. These people hit retirement age and have money for a reason. So they should be wise enough not to be taken advantage of. But that's just my opinion. So, a Maryland investor, according to a civil complaint filed by a group of regulators in September, was told that roughly $300,000 in precious metals bullion could be worth as much as $1.2 million in 10 years. At the same time, the investor was warned that every dollar could be lost in the stock market. And see, we all know this. When you invest in them precious metals, you don't lose money. We already know that. Like, you're not going to go down to a $0 amount. You might get less than what you paid for it, but you can also get way more if you're playing the long-term game. But when you're already 60, 70, and 80 years old, guys, we already know not to invest metals at that age. That's the age where we want to start selling metals. And if you're buying metals at 60, 70, and 80 years old, you're buying metals for your children, for your grandchildren. So that's something that really should have been taken into consideration. This should have been explained. And these people should have been smart enough to do their own research before they actually started investing this way. But again, that's my opinion. So, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission and 30 state regulators, including Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel, filed a civil action September 22nd in federal court in Texas against metals.com, Chase Metals, and Barrett Capital. Okay, guys, so metals.com, I've dealt with them before. They are horrible. If you have Facebook, they are relentless with their cookies. They will advertise to you, say, for example, a Silver Eagle. If a Silver Eagle is like $20, they will try to sell it to you as an investment at $50 and $60. That's no joke. And you guys can go to their website and see that. So as silver collectors, we should automatically know not to go into that. But you got Chase Metals and Barrett Capital involved in this scheme. Well, guess what? That's some big names, guys. We need to look out for that. So anyway, about 25 victims live in Michigan, according to the State Attorney General's office. The defendants were targeting elderly people and deceiving them into using their retirement funds to invest in the metals that were not what the company claimed, according to Ryan Jarva, a spokesman for Nestle. It is early in litigation, so we don't know how much money people in Michigan invested or will get back, he said. The precious metal dealers are accused of defrauding 1,600 people and convincing them to invest $185 million in silver and gold bullion. The bulk of that money, $140 million, was reportedly from retirement funds such as 401ks, IRAs, and the rest was paid from cash and credit cards, according to the way the complaint was written. So, this is where it gets kind of funny. So, this is where they start saying it was only one type of people that was taken advantage of. For example, saying just the conservative group. And it says, fans of Fox News, conservatives, Christians, and others were targeted via Facebook elsewhere from 2017 through early September of this year, long before the coronavirus hit, by high-pressure sales pitches to scare them into thinking they'd lose all their money in the next recession. A temporary receiver was put into place, and the firm's assets have been frozen. So basically, because of the junction that the courts filed, they froze all funds to this company. Which, in a way, I understand it, but at the same time, these people should have been smart enough to know, hey, the markets are doing X, I need Y, Z is going to be my outcome. This isn't going to work in the time frame that I needed. And they should have actually talked with their personal advisors instead of listening to these people over the phone. Especially if someone just calls you up and say, hey, you want to buy precious metals and here's what we can do for you. No, you go to your personal advisor, the same guy who's been advising you your entire life. You talk to him. You let that man be the one who helps you and guides you in the direction you need to go to. So, how did these people lose money? Gold, of course, had an incredible year in 2020, but these investors still lost huge amounts of money because regulators charged they were sold vastly overpriced polar bear bullion and other precious metal products. Yes, that is true. Like I said, metals.com, I know for a fact, were selling American Eagles. When American Eagles were $20, they were trying to sell them for $45 and $50 a piece, guys. So they are guilty of that. But as the consumer, it is your responsibility to shop around. It is literally a buyer beware market. So, regulators allege that the investors had little or no experience investing in precious metals, ending up paying double or triple the going rate for base metal. So, it just said it right there. They had little or no experience investing in precious metals. So, to me, that would mean they had no business investing in it without guidance from their personal advisors. So, again, if you're going to invest the kind of money these people are investing and you know nothing about it, you would think you would go get professional help, some guidance from somebody who knows about it. And don't just go with the guy who's trying to sell you something. When you go to a used car lot, you don't go to a used car lot and listen to what the car salesman has to tell you, because he's going to sell you a used car. That's his job. You go and you do your own research before you go to the used car lot. Same scenario, folks. So the complaint alleges investors lost more of their money immediately because they ended up with fraudulent, overpriced precious metal bullion. And the majority is gone, said Joseph Borg, chair of the North American Securities Administration Association Enforcement Section, and director of the Alabama Security Commission, which is one of the plaintiffs. Guys, this guy, his title is as long as my arm, and he's one of the plaintiffs. This guy should have already known better. It seems to me he got caught with his pants down, and he's just looking for an out. So, account statements showed, according to the complaint, that the value of precious metals holdings proved to be far less than what was initially invested. A representative of Metals.com did not return any emails or phone calls from the free press. So who was targeted in this right here? Now this is where it gets kind of funny also. Sales reps were instructed to install fear in elderly and retirement age investors and build trust with investors based on representations of political and religious affinity, according to the complaint. The stock market had been volatile. People are scared, Borg said. The fear factor includes that you're going to outlive your money. Sales reps talked about gloomy outlooks and maintained that Social Security won't be around much longer, or that the deep state conspiracy theory would destroy your retirement savings. Borg said sales pitches in some cases included incorrect comments that one could get a better tax break by opting for this type of precious metal strategy in a self-directed IRA instead of investing into stocks. Well, guys, we've talked about this before. You can get a better deal for yourself if you invest in the precious metals versus an IRA, depending on how you do it. It is just simple numbers, but it also depends on the time frame that you're wanting to do things in. So that has a lot to do with it. But a lot of these people, like I said, they're not in the time frame market. They're not young enough in order to make the metals work for them. But if they were to take those metals and pass it on to their children and their grandchildren, yes, that would be the whole purpose of what the metal market could do for them. So let's continue on. So many times investors feel safer making big decisions about their money Many times investors feel safer making big decisions about their money if they know someone else who is investing in the same deal. Maybe it's someone they trust at church. Maybe it's someone they trust on TV or radio. The precious metal pitch, according to the regulators, gained credibility by implying an association with a well-known conservative television or radio personality, even though the group received a cease and desist demand from the media personalities to stop touting this perpetrated affiliation. According to the complaint, that the complaint did not name the personality. Fox News, reporting to the agency from the Detroit Free Press, stated that the network has never had a relationship with the Metals.com or any of its associates. So guys, what these people were doing was saying someone from a conservative network, let's just say Sean Hannity, for example, was the one that these guys were like, well, Sean Hannity bought from us, or Joe Blow bought from us, and they're saying, well, if he bought from us and he's a Christian, well, he trusts us, why shouldn't you trust us? And to me, that's just a play on people's emotions, and that should fall on the consumer as well. And this consumer being you and I, we should definitely be smart enough not to fall in those traps. Guys, there's a little bit more to this article, but it sums down to basically buyer beware. If you want to read the rest of this article, you can, I'll leave a link down in the description. But this is something we all might want to actually listen to, because there's a case right now with this going on. This is a class action lawsuit against 3 separate entities. And we don't want to have to deal with all of the repercussions of this down the road, because we as precious metal stackers are going to see this. And depending on your age group, you may or may not see a positive return on your investments. This may be something that's legacy. It's legacy wealth that you pass down to your children or your grandchildren. So let's just not, how do I put this? Let's just not get caught up in the whole, well, I didn't know any better, so now I'm going to sue the people to get my money back because they took advantage of me. That's not right. The truth is, you are a living, breathing human being who has a brain. And if you are buying into something you know nothing about, then you truly need to go search for information. You're not going to go buy a used car on a used car lot without knowing what you're getting. So don't treat your precious metals the same way. There's only a finite amount of resources out there, guys. So just don't hand it over to one person without knowing what you're doing. Anyway, if you like this video the way I did it, please like, share, and subscribe. If you like the audio version that I normally do with the computerized voice, let me know. If you like me doing it this way, where I talk through it, let me know. I'm just experimenting, trying to fill everybody out. Just leave a comment below, guys. Tell me what you think, how you feel about it. Anyway, I'm getting ready to head into work here in a few minutes. Everybody have a great day. I'll catch you guys on the next video, and see y'all later. And don't forget the upcoming giveaways, guys. I want part of my collection to become part of yours. So everybody have a good day. Later.